Hi, my name is Kyvan Savage, and in this video I'm going to be going over infectious diseases in biology AS level. To start off with, disease can be caused by loads of different things. And in the exam we could be asked to discuss what health and disease means. So, health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being, which includes the absence of disease and weakness and absence of disease and the absence and like not being weak. I don't really know how to describe that. Absence of disease and infirmity. And disease is a condition which impairs the normal functioning of an organism. A disease can be caused by infection with pathogens or parasites. But you also need to be able to discuss what the terms pathogen and parasite mean, and that's a bit harder. So a pathogen is an organism which can cause damage to the organism it affects. So an organism which damages its host. A parasite is an organism that lives on or in another organism, the host, and causes damage to it. So a pathogen causes damage to the host, it infects it, but a parasite lives on or in it. And they're actually the same thing, but traditionally people have tend to call bacteria, fungi and viruses pathogens, and things like tapeworm and roundworm and fleas parasites. But disease can also be caused by genetic defects, nutritional deficiencies and environmental factors like toxic chemicals in the environment. And infectious diseases are diseases that can be passed between individuals, and in our exam we need to know about three main ones, which are malaria, AIDS and tuberculosis. And malaria is caused by Plasmodium, and Plasmodium is a eukaryotic single-celled parasite. It's transmitted by mosquitoes, and it's specifically transmitted by the Anopheles mosquito, the female one, and they're vectors, you call them a vector, and they transfer the Plasmodium parasite into an animal's blood when they feed on them, and they infect the liver and red blood cells and disrupt the blood supply to vital organs. Then AIDS, we need to know about, which is caused by the HIV virus. HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus, and that infects our white blood cells. And HIV can only reproduce inside cells, so it has to infect the actual cells because it doesn't have the equipment to replicate on its own. So after it's reproduced, it kills the white blood cells as it leaves. And HIV infection can lead to acquired immune deficiency syndrome, which is AIDS. And it's a condition where the immune system deteriorates and eventually it fails due to the loss of white blood cells. So it makes them the sufferer really vulnerable to other infections such as pneumonia. And it's transmitted lots of ways, like through infected bodily fluids like blood transfusions. Tuberculosis, TB, is caused by a bacterium, and it's a lung disease, and it's caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium Tuberculosis, and it's spread by droplet infection, which is like when an infected person coughs or sneezes over someone else, and droplets of their saliva and mucus containing the bacteria are released, and other people can breathe it in by the people. Many people with TB are infected, but they don't show any symptoms, but they become much weakened by another disease or malnutrition, and if that happens the disease does become active, and they'll show the symptoms and be able to pass on the infection. And all of these have a really big global impact on the world. They're really common in sub-Saharan Africa and other developing countries, because in those countries there's really limited access to good healthcare. Drugs aren't always available, and they're less likely to become diagnosed if there isn't a regular doctor around. Blood transfusions aren't always safe, sharing of needles aren't always sterile. There's also limited health education to inform people how things are, the transmission of stuff, so people don't really know. In some cases, there's limited equipment to help reduce spread of infections, and there are really overcrowded conditions in some cases, which really increases the risk of TB infection by droplet transmission. And the prevalence of malaria, HIV and TB in these developing countries like sub-Saharan Africa slows down the social and economic climate development, because these diseases increase death rates, reduce productivity because quite a few people are not able to work, and result in high healthcare costs. And studying the global distribution of these diseases is important for loads of reasons, because we need to find out where people most are at risk and where epidemics are most likely to occur, and it's really important for research how it spreads, and it allows organisations to provide aid to where it's needed most. So that's a little bit on infectious diseases. Hope I haven't done too much. That's sort of just the basics. Maybe in another video I'll go over each in depth, because there's a lot more like the transmissions and stuff, but this is just the beginning. So good luck with your AS biology exam, and you've got it soon.